You are knowing what you are wanting.
Yes.
It is an evolving thing.
Yes.
You are appreciating the variety of your life experience.
Yes.
We're giving it to you easily. You are appreciating the variety and contrast of this time-space reality.
Yes.
You are enjoying how this contrast evokes from you awarenesses of things that you prefer, things that could even be better than they are. You like that sifting and sorting process? Then you are a remarkable group. Because as we look among our human friends, we see many who are beginning to understand that the variety and contrast that helps you to know clearly what you do not want is the same contrast that in the same way helps you to identify what you do want. And it is remarkable how so many humans, in their awareness of what they do not want, even though in that precise moment they are giving birth to what they do want, stay so long focused upon what they do not want. It's almost as if they feel as if they need to justify what they do want by pushing hard against what they do not want. And they must not be remembering that they are living in a universe that is based upon law of attraction, which says that which is likened to itself is drawn. They must have temporarily forgotten that this is an inclusion-based universe, which means when you look at something and shout yes at it, you include it in your vibration and you begin moving toward it. But when you look at something that you do not want and you shout no at it, you also include that in your vibration and you begin moving toward it. So it turns out, and so easy for us to know, and we so want you to remember it, that no means yes. Because no is attention to something, and attention to something is calling it toward you. So then you say, well, Abraham, then why are you non-physical fiend, no rent to pay and all of that, why are you so excited about us living in contrast where we say no all the time? No to war, no to poverty, no to terrorism, no to cancer, no to AIDS, no to so many things that we do not want. Why would we be in a situation where there is so much that we innately and naturally in a knee-jerk fashion want to shout no at? Why then does no mean yes? And we say, because law of attraction is answering whatever vibration you got going on. So the key is to say no long enough to let the yes be born and then turn your undivided attention toward the yes. Now that doesn't seem hard, does it? I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? It is logical, isn't it? Unless you believe that you have to convince the giver of the goods that you are deserving of what you do want. Then we could understand why you would say, I don't have enough money, and it's really hard not having enough money, and I'm so uncomfortable in not having enough money, and my family is suffering because I don't have enough money, and there are other people who have enough money, and it really is not fair that I don't have enough money. And we want to say to you, you are not applying your question or desire to your mother. We think that's a lot funnier than you do. Well, you have to do such a sales job on your mother because she seems sometimes reluctant to give over the goods. But the universe that is answering your desire is not reluctant at all. In fact, it is instantaneous in its response. So much so that we have written a book with the best title that we think could have ever been given to a book, called Ask and It Is Given. And now we want to offer an even longer title to the book, which says, not only when you ask is it given, but when you ask, the greater part of you immediately becomes the vibrational essence of what you're asking for. We want to add even more to the title. We want to say to you that you are non-physical energy here in this physical body. And as you were non-physical energy, making the decision to come forth into this physical body, you flowed, you extended yourself, you sent your perspective forward into this physical time-space reality. And so now a part of that vibration that is non-physical is now focused within you. Not all of it. The greater part of the you that is really you is still non-physically focused. But a part of that attention has been focused here. You know how when you go to a movie and the movie is your life for the hour or two that you are there, but it is not representative of your whole life? Well, that's the way the non-physical energy is. The whole of you is in non-physical all the time, and a part of it comes to the movie called this physical life experience. And in the perspective of things, it's about as long as the movie is to you. In other words, you are so much more non-physical energy than you are physical energy. But the key is to let the non-physical you express fully through the physical you, and that is the blended, that is the master, that is the completion of you that you are really wanting to accomplish. So this non-physical you expresses itself, a part of itself, into the you that you know as you. And here you are in this physical body, and here you are exploring the variety and contrast of your day-to-day experience. And from that, you know what you don't want, so you know what you do want. And as those preferences are born, whether they are full-blown desires that you are shouting from the rooftops, or whether it is a subtle preference that you just decided, maybe even at unconscious levels or even at cellular levels, as you are living your experience, every part of you knows what it doesn't want, and every part of you then gives birth to what it does want. And in that moment, the non-physical part of you follows the stream of that rocket of desire and embraces it fully, even more, becomes it fully. So that's why we're saying to you that the title of the book could even go beyond when you ask, it is given, and it could say, not only when you ask is it given, but it is given instantaneously. Not only when you ask is it given, but the larger part of you rides the rocket. Now get the picture of all of this. You are non-physical energy. You expressed yourself into the physical. This life experience caused you to want something, and the greater part of you became it. In other words, there is a cycle, a completion of that which you are that is exhilarating. The question is, and the only question is, and the question that this workshop serves to answer is, what are you doing as you stand in your physical personality about that which you have become? Are you staying up to speed with that which you have become? And if you are, then you are allowing your expansion. And if you're not allowing, you're resisting your expansion. And if you are feeling the joy of that alignment. And if you're not, you're feeling the negative emotion that is indicating the resistance of that, you see. And so, in very plain terms, what we are saying to you is, this life, just like you knew it would, is causing you to become yet more. Imagine, the God that is you came forth to expand still further. That must be why you are eternal. It is why we are all eternal. You are the leading edge of that which is source. So as you live your life and you become more, source becomes it immediately and bees it vibrationally and offers a signal of that which it has become, a signal that if you're listening for it, you cannot not hear. You cannot resist knowing that which you have become. And when you go with the flow of that which you have become, you feel so satisfied. You feel so good. And when you don't feel so good. In very simple terms, again, we want to say, if you don't let yourself stay up to speed with what your life is causing you and the greater you to become, then you don't feel so good. And that's what resistance is, you see. So the more you live life, the more contrast helps you to know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want. So the more you become, and each of those rockets, we like to say, becomes a part of this vibrational escrow that the source energy part of you is not only tending to, but has become. So then it follows that the art of allowing must be something about listening for that call of source and going in the direction of that call of source. And that's what we're going to be talking about today through a variety of the things that you bring to the platform. We want to help you to realize that when you get into the flow of that energy cycle that is you feel such exhilaration. And when you try to hold yourself apart from the flow, you don't feel so good. Imagine taking your canoe down to the river's edge. You've got a very sleek designed canoe, and you've got oars or paddles, really good ones, and they're set into the canoe where you've got a really good grip on them, and you get your boat in the water. And then, if you are like most humans, you deliberately point it upstream and begin paddling really, really hard. And we say to you, you might want to turn that boat around and go with the flow. And humans say, after considering it for a second, oh, Abraham, that just seems lazy. And we say, but how long can you keep that up? And they say, I don't know, but I'm going to spend this lifetime figuring that out. And then they go on to explain, you see, that's just what we do here. All of the trophies are given to those who paddle hard against the current. And we say, and we so want you to hear this, nothing that you want is upstream. Everything's downstream because your life caused you to ask for it, and source became it and is calling you toward it. And when you go in the direction of that call, you're going with the current. And when you're not, you're not. Jerry and Esther, with friends in Colorado, had a wonderful day. Last month, they went whitewater rafting on a river in Colorado that had very fast current and lots of exciting rapids. There were many fours, some threes. In fact, other river companies, when they came to these stronger rapids, pulled their boats right out of the water and trucked around them. But the group that Jerry and Esther were with went right on through. As Jerry and Esther were driving up the canyon in this bus, where they had a clear view of the river, they said to each other more than once, are we out of our minds? Because they could see this very fast moving current, and there were very big boulders that the water was shooting very high as it was going around, and the bridge supports, many bridges, and they wondered if they were going to survive it. And then they wondered even more when they saw the release form that they had to sign that basically said, your odds of surviving are not all that good, so sign here so we are not held liable. Esther said, I refuse to read this. I'll sign it, but I'm not going to read it. I don't want to know what you know. So, as they put their boat into the river, one thing that became very apparent to Jerry and Esther and their friends right away, there was no way they were going to paddle upstream. And we want you to understand that about your stream. In other words, there's no way you're going to paddle upstream. You can try, and you can ruin your life doing it. You can keep yourself from going with the flow, and you can cause all kinds of trauma in your own experience, mostly in your physical body. But there's no way that you're going to make any headway against this current. And you say to us, that's so strange, Abraham, because all of the trophies and monuments are promised to those who paddle hard against the current. And we've heard that after we die, there are even more, you tell us. And we say, if you will allow yourself to you don't even have to turn and go with the flow. You just have to stop paddling. The current will turn you. One of the things that was most evident to Jerry and Esther as they watched this stream, there were some very large boulders, big rocks that were not going with the flow. They were rooted to the floor of the stream. And as the water approached those boulders, it went upside down, it went all around, it went high in the air, it went around, but it caused great trauma. If those boulders had been moving with the current, it would have not been the harsh experience when they came to the boulder. The guide in their boat said to them on more than one occasion, we do not want to get ourselves up against one of those rocks, because if you get up against one of those rocks with this fast-moving current, all kinds of things that you do not want to happen. And we say, it's sort of like when you cling to an idea or to an argument or to an intention of being right, and you hold yourself and you don't let yourself go with the current will beat you up. And the reason that we are making such a big point about this is because as we visit with so many of our human friends, we have discovered that many of you have come to believe something that is utterly untrue. Many humans actually believe that there is a stream that moves toward goodness and that there is a stream that moves toward badness. And if you're not vigilant, you could end up in the wrong stream. And we're wanting you to understand there's only one stream that you're letting yourself flow with or not, and you can tell by the way you feel whether you're letting yourself flow with it or not.